all of a sudden, what happened to the other guys happened to me. Of course, I don't mean I was straight like King, but you know, his problem came when he started having dental troubles. That was the end of his career on the trumpet. And that not only happens to him, that happens to millions of trumpets.
Hey, Sharon. I see you, sister.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We live. You made it live. The radio station up the pop like that for real. Getting set up right now. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna invite a couple people. Yo, let me hit a couple invites. Boom, 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 boom. I'm inviting some people. That's why I'm like this in front of the building. You know what it is? Nsoromma in the building. WHGE 95.3 Open Eye Radio Station. It's about the month. Get popping. You know what I'm saying? Yo, for real. This live on Facebook. Get this. Yo, invite some people. Yo, just they see me and they come later on. Hitting y'all later. Real bad boys move early and inside. Real bad boys move early and inside. So you can hear that. Yo, they don't move late, they move early and inside. Just that. So yo, understand. Those are the room in the building. That's what it is. Go back. Give me phone that property.
Here you go.
Yo, good morning, y'all. What's happening? Sherry, what's good? I see you tuning in early. That's what's up. Everything good? How you? City Living Transportation in the building. Care Home of Delaware. You know what I'm saying? If you know somebody that need care, and that's what it is. Care Home of Delaware. Link up. For real. Yo, the theme music popping right now. Y'all really can't hear it, but before we got the theme music going right there. You good? Got your coffee? Okay. Sharon, go ahead, yo. Okay, we tuning in. That's right. Yo, what are you gonna talk about today, Sarah? I don't know. He surprised me. You know what I'm saying too. Yeah.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, joined by our intellectual surgeon, Nsoromma. What's up, brother?
What's good?
All right. Yes, indeed.
Give it up, give it up.
Chop. Yeah, buddy. Hey, happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Life.
Yes, indeed. And what I like to do,
What?
you know, because we celebrate Black History all year.
That's right. It's our life. It ain't just a 30-day thing. But,
No. I like to tell you about people you never heard of before.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever heard of Onesimus? Onesimus.
No, I have.
Okay, first of all, let me say this. The tragedy of Onesimus is that we don't know his real name.
Onesimus.
Yes. In the early 1700s, Onesimus is a name from the Bible. I'm telling you that.
Okay.
Okay, but this is not the text we're talking about. We're talking about the African brother that was enslaved in the early 1700s, about a century before Edward Jenner conceived the idea of smallpox vaccine based on the cowpox virus. Smallpox was going through New England and other American colonies. In Massachusetts, colonialness, there saw smallpox arrive with a cargo ships to Boston over and over again. All right.
Right.
Tell you something about diseases. All right. Most of them come from Europe, and they were not well dealt with. Okay. And there was not much that the authorities could do beyond imposing quarantines and trying to treat the sick. When smallpox came in the early 1700s. This changed in 1721 thanks to the wisdom passed on from Onesimus, an African who was enslaved and sold to Cotton Mather, who was an influential minister in Boston. Actually, he was given to Cotton Mather as a gift. Now, who is Cotton Mather? Cotton Mather is a name from the Salem witch trials. He wrote a book that he was probably more responsible for the Salem witch trials than anybody. All right. Now, Mathis had a slave, Onesimus, this enslaved African. He was enslaved as an adult from West Africa. And when Onesimus saw this smallpox thing happening, he said, "Hey, I know what to do about that." And Mathis said, "Well, were you a physician in that?" He said, "No, this is common knowledge on how to deal with diseases and what have you." And Mathis was like, "What do you mean common knowledge?" He said, "We do what's called inoculation, where we take a small bit of the disease and inject it into your body, and your body's immune system learns how to fight that disease. And once it does this, you're safe from catching the disease. You can be exposed to it again and not have to worry about it." And Mathis said, "Wow, I don't know about this, but you're a pretty smart guy, and you're already educated and what have you."
Right.
And he said, "Look, we went through this in Africa, all right, and we inoculated people, so they didn't have to worry about it." So he went to the Mathers, went to the local physicians and told them what this African said, and they were like, "Are you nuts? From an African? Have you lost your mind?" He said, "No. Onesimus, he said this is how you do it. And I tried it, and guess what? I don't have smallpox. I've been exposed to it." So eventually they came to accept this. All right? This is where inoculation started on American shores. It was done by an African who was enslaved, kidnapped from Africa, named Onesimus, and introduced to the American society.
The flu shot.
Basically.
That's what they do with the flu shot.
That's right.
All the rest of the shots.
That's right.
So,
So this was common practice. And I'll tell you something.
what?
You heard of the C-section?
Yeah.
That's
For the kids, for the C-section,
Yeah.
you get a C-section instead of having it naturally, you get it cut out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a C? Do they make a C? Is it a C just because it's going down your stomach?
No.
Like a C or some other C?
No, I'm not sure why they call it the C-section.
Okay.
But Europeans have been trying it for years without success, losing both the mother and the baby.
Right.
Physicians from Africa have been doing it successfully for a millennium, for thousands of years. All right?
Right.
Taught the Europeans how to do it. And that was like in the 1700s, 1800s, or whatever. All right? That's where that comes from. Okay? So, I hope you learned something this morning and teach you something else. During Black History Month, one of the biggest complaints from white supremacists, okay, is why we don't have White History Month. So if it's not racist to have Black History Month, why can't we have White History Month? Well, the rest of the 11 months are pretty much White History Month or White History Months. I mean, come on. But you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe it is racist. So what we should do is talk about some white history. Okay? Let's start a little late in their history on the American shores. In 1862, this for you white history buffs. All right? America's largest mass hanging of 38 Native Americans took place was in 1862. Let's fast forward a little bit. White History Month. All right, we're going to include some white history in Black History Month. All right. In 1923, a woman was assaulted by her own lover. Rather than blame her lover, thereby angering her husband for her injuries, she said, "A Black man did it." Don't that sound familiar? That's a big part of white history. Is a Black man did it, and it's a goddamn lie. Yeah,
I missed the booth a little bit, but yo, okay.
And of course, when she said that, rumors swirled that this Black man raped her. So a mob of white men marched into Rosewood, destroying homes, killing pets, murdering at least 6 people and 2 white people. The official record and eyewitness testimony, of course, don't agree with the number of deaths. Witnesses claim the number to be much higher, including children. It lasted 6 days, and no one was charged. White History Month. Now,
6 days.
6 days. 6 days. That's what I'm sure that some white people found that disturbing. They didn't like that, But it's the truth. It's the truth of your history. You want us to talk about white history? Come on. Let's talk about it.
A lot of their history is destruction, though.
Yeah.
So it's really, they really want to try to bury it and hide it as much as they can. You know what I'm saying? But it eventually is going to come out, because we got so much informational tools that's around us right now that, information is accessible like nothing now. Only thing you got to do is have, the proper equipment and you linked in.
That's
what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
Views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the host.
Yo, what's up, Mace? Hey, Vaughn, I see you clicked there. Cedric, what's happening? We waving, yeah. What's good? Yeah. I see you. You all right, Mace?
The Open Eye.
Yep.
Patrice Gibbs. Yeah, but I had a white person who has a PhD in history,
right,
accused me of asserting that all white people are bad or evil.
That's not true.
Nah. And I responded that I'm not the one who promotes the notion that all white people are bad or evil. I told her that white people, especially white historians, are the ones who promote and sustain the idea that all white people are evil. Now she looked confused, like, what? Yeah. I proceeded to tell her that enslaving rapist George Washington is the father of the nation. I told her that they put the genocidal maniac, President Andrew Jackson, on their currency. He's on the, what is he on, the $20 bill. They have a holiday and parades in celebration of Christopher Columbus, who was a monster, and they still celebrating that. I told her that every time that I've been to Chicago, I see tours celebrating the actions in life of Al Capone. I mean, Al Capone was a murderer. He was a gangster. He was a bootleg. I mean, this dude was responsible. You ever heard of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre? 7 men were lined up against the wall and murdered on the orders of Al Capone. But Chicago's still celebrating. Now, I asked her, you ever heard of Smedley Butler? Y'all heard me talk about him before. He was the greatest soldier ever produced by the U.S. Armed Forces. And she never heard of him. She got a PhD in history. She never heard of him. All right? He saved the U.S. from a military coup. But he's been erased from white history. Ask her why are no parades for celebrations of people like William Lloyd Garrison. She had no answer. You know, and I informed her that the best way for white historical figure to be ignored or suppressed in white history is to stand for justice, for human liberation. It's okay for white history heroes to give lip service to freedom and equality, like Thomas Jefferson, who was an enslaver and rapist. But they better not try to make it a reality. So when I, a product of Western education, tend to focus on the villains in white history, it's because that's who I see on your monuments, on the money, and in the folklore of this nation. If whites want to be viewed in a different light, why don't they simply begin to not only celebrate their true historical heroes, like the one I talked about a week or two ago, John Brown, who was an abolitionist. All right. Why don't they begin to live up to the teachings and examples of their true heroes? But I guess it's easier, more profitable for them to ask or demand that non-whites accept historical propaganda and accept the villains they sell us as heroes. We're not doing that here. We'll expose your ass. We believe that.
But what about the bill they just passed somewhere that, you know, you can get locked up or fined or sued for making white people feel uncomfortable about their history?
That's in Florida.
I mean, just think of how corrupt this government is to be trying to pass, and these people to be trying to pass these bills and policies, which is not laws, so they really don't mean anything because it's just their policy, which is nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they really pushing. Can you see the agenda that they pushing?
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me and worries me for our kids is these people that's in these high up positions thinking how they think and not and so many people following them and backing them and wanting that. So we have to really be on point with our decision making now as black unity in the community.
That's a doggone sure.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, see the thing about that Florida law is it's dangerous because what they're doing, of course, which is their goal, is they want to set the clock back.
Right. They want to bring this back. This thing that we hate the most, hanging and chains and all the things that, you know, make them look bad when we talk about it. They want to bring it back to reality and then put a law in so you'll get in trouble for saying something.
Right.
Against it. Right. What is the mentality of them thinkers? You have to,
you know, well, for one thing, they want to be able to say, see, the thing is, like, they want to turn this clock back. It's not happening. We're not those people, okay? You know, they want to be able to say the N-word without consequences. It don't work like that. No, those days are gone. Case in point, I saw a video yesterday. White guy arguing with this black man in a store, a fast food place or whatever, all right? And they're going back and forth with this argument. And the white dude, he couldn't help it. He just couldn't take it no more, and he called that black man the N-word. Well, that black man didn't punch him out, but he slapped him. You know what? You ever see somebody get pimp slapped so hard it made your bladder weak? Like, Lord mercy, boy, he slapped he pretty much slapped the piss out of him. And that's what's going to happen because we are not going back. You can forget that.
It ain't about responding in violence. It's about responding in lawsuits because that's terroristic threatening. We have to attack their pockets. I mean, it's easy to beat them up. You can do that later. You know what I'm saying? You can catch them later on. That's been plenty of times that, you know, you see somebody you don't like and then you see them out in the street somewhere and that's where they get it at. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we have to think faster than responding. You know what I'm saying? If he'd have took that same videotape to the lawyer and got somebody in there knew his name, he come in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about understanding the position. It's in position. The law is in position for everybody to be able. Anybody can be sued.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand that anybody for anything.
And you know what? And like you said, it's their pockets,
right?
You know, And what we really need to do as Black people is have an economic exodus. Okay, what's that mean? That means pulling back from the society economically, because they need our money. All right, we are the biggest consumers in the country. Stop that. All right, get what you need. Get your gas, get your food, get necessities, and that's it.
And then shop with your own.
And shop with
Keep
your
the
own.
money in our community for at least 5 times instead of 0 times.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying?
How about that?
We have to think more, man.
That's
more
what we got to do.
Thinkable decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pick up that brown song and play it 4 or 5 times a day. Like Nsoromma said, think.
Yeah.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yo, what up, Meese? What up, Yon? I'm on the radio, you see. Yo, boy, what's up, brother? I seen that. I read that again, you know what I mean?
What was that?
Boy, this stuff. Good morning, my brother. Yeah.
All right. Yes, sir. WHGE 95.3 FM, intellectual surgeon Nsoromma in the house.
Yeah,
Thank. That's
right.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few stories, okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how this all ties in to a quote from Dr. King. Okay. Y'all know by now. Y'all saw the video of the Black team that was in New Jersey, in the New Jersey Mall. The Black team fighting a bigger white team, right? And the white team was putting it on. I mean, my brother was hanging in there, but the dude was bigger and stronger. And, you know, he tossed him a couple of times, and the cops showed up. All right?
First of all, you ain't give it up all the way. The white boy was taunting the Black boy, and he was being racist to the Black boy, and all his friends around him was telling him not to do that, and yo, get out of here, man. We ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
And it took on from there.
Right.
The white boy was in the wrong from the beginning.
From the gate.
Say that to let them know.
Yes, indeed.
You know
From the
what I mean?
gate. Thank you, Nsoromma.
Okay.
All right. Well, the cop showed up. A male and female cop.
Was these cops white?
Yes, they were.
Oh, okay.
Okay, these were race soldiers. They showed up, and first thing they did was they pulled the white boy off the Black boy, and the white male cop jumped on the Black boy, turned him over, twisted his arm, and cuffed him up. And then and before he got finished doing all that, the white female cop set the teenage white boy on the couch and patted him up. You all right, baby? Don't worry, we got this. I ran over there and put her knee on the Black kid's back, in his back, while they cuffed him up. All right? Now, like Nsoromma said, the white boy started this. His own friends told him, you know, he was wrong and to back up off of this. All right? And the cops come, and even the white kids on the video were saying, oh, that's wrong. Oh, this is white privilege big time. Okay? And this is what goes on.
But you gotta understand, these white kids of this generation have so many Black friends that they ain't even going for that right now.
Right?
They are the generation that's gonna put a hold to what's going on if it was some type of something that needed to be done. that generation. You know what I mean? Because they the ones that stand up and fight these laws and not scared to go up against their uncles, their brothers, people of relation, because they're a police officer or they some type of authority figure. You know what I'm saying? So they can't respond to them like they respond to a regular citizen. You know what I'm saying? Because they really family down the line. Yeah. So we need them to
now
stand
even
up.
the governor say, hey, well, this needs to be looked into and this, that, and the other. Okay. What needs to happen is those race soldiers need to be fired for doing the racist crap that they pull.
Right.
All right. That's what needs to happen. They need to be fired. They need to go.
I think it's really messed up when you can call the police and they come and you get killed and you call it. I think that's the worst. That's why you have to learn to protect yourself and defend yourself, and you don't need the police. And you can police yourself.
Yeah. You know, but I tell you,
it take about 4 or 5 minutes for the police to get to you in any situation. So what's going to go on within them 5 minutes? You have to be able to be your own police and make your own decisions and defend yourself for them 5 minutes till they get there.
That's what.
But
right. See, and even the danger of that is, it was shown in this example of this fight between this white boy, and this black kid.
Yeah.
Because the white boy was obviously wrong. Okay.
And the black boy was defending himself.
And the black boy was defending himself. And the white cops showed up, and immediately the black boy was wrong, and that's who they cuffed up.
Right.
All right. Now, moving on with this.
Because that's what they don't talk when they come to black people. They don't expect black people to have the mind and the senses to be able to sue them.
Right.
You know,
or even the verbal
to be able
acuity.
To conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
That's messy, and they got that mentality. All the police. That when they pull up on a black person, they think that you don't know how to be particular within your speech.
And it was a story that I forgot to bring. All right, and I'll give it to you more detail next week and what have you. But it was a young black lady, and I wish I had remembered this to bring this story. She was in jail for theft or something, okay, and she got sick. And I want to say this was not in the South, and she got sick in jail. And she rang the buzzer and she told the correction officers that she was in bad shape. She was dehydrated. She was throwing up blood. And the correction officer on duty called his sergeant and said, look, we can see the girl in there throwing up blood. What should we do? All right. The sergeant said, she can see the nurse in the morning. This girl's throwing up blood. And the sergeant said she can see the nurse in the morning. Okay. Well, she kept complaining and kept asking for help. If you find this online, listen to the videotape of this girl's anguish. She's obviously in pain. When they finally went in her cell and found her, she was laying on the floor, prone on her knees because she is in so much pain and could find no way for relief. After 16 hours of ignoring her, of showing this young lady, 23-year-old, no humanity, they finally took her to the hospital where she died. Now, what they tried to do at the hospital was they tried to say that she didn't die just from some illness, but she had some toxic substance in her body. What they're saying is that she had taken some drugs or something. Well, after she was examined, it was found there was no toxic substance in her body. She was sick for 16 hours, and they just let her die. Now, the prosecutor and the DA in this area said there's no criminal action that took place. They killed her. When you neglect someone in dire straits, who's in pain and sick and suffering and throwing up blood, you're a goddamn murderer. That's what you are.
But listen, it's even deeper than that. If this is what we don't understand. When the police take and lock you up and put you in their custody they're responsible for you.
That's right.
Okay?
Mhm.
And they are supposed to be held accountable.
Mhm.
And then we don't get these attorneys that really want to go after these police officers and these friends and their friend judges and stuff like that. So you have to go outside of your city and your state to get a lawyer that's hungry and don't care nothing about their political ways
Mhm.
in your state.
Mhm.
So and that's where the search come in, and that's where we have to be more visible and thinking about what you have to do in these types of situations
Mhm.
when that happens to a family member to you,
Right.
or
Yeah.
and we can't get no help here immediately in our
Yeah.
own state
No.
because they all work together.
Right.
So you have to go somewhere like Florida that the lawyer practice all over the world,
Mhm.
and they don't care about these politicians and
Right.
what they're thinking and none of that. So
They have
you
no
have
skin in the game,
a shotgun instead of a pistol
Mhm.
helping you.
That's
Because
right.
the pistol works for the state you're working for. If you get them that in your state, they all go to dinner. They all kids play in the park together. They all do the things together, so they
Right.
don't want to hurt each other.
Right.
They
Now,
want to.
I'm gonna tell you where this is real relevant, what you just broke it down. All right, is that they all in it together.
Of course.
Okay. Kim Potter, who was convicted in December of first and second degree manslaughter in the April 11 killing of Dante Wright, a 20-year-old black motorist, and she was sentenced only on the more serious charge in accordance with state law. Kim Potter, she was the one that confused her taser with her gun. All right, who by the way trained other officers on using the taser, but she accidentally pulled out her gun instead of her taser and shot Dante Wright.
Okay, she made a mistake. She should go to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, your mistake cost you the jail time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but that's what happened.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops, I murdered you.
Oh, oops, you get 44 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Boom.
It's supposed to be just like that.
Yeah.
But,
That's right.
oh, take the slap on the wrist, and we'll give you some milk and cookies later.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, for someone with no criminal history, such as Potter, the state guidelines on that charge range from slightly more than 6 years to about 8.5 years in prison, with the presumptive sentence being just over 7 years. Prosecutors said the presumptive sentence was proper, but defense attorneys asked for a sentence below the guidelines, including a sentence of probation only. All right.
Now, it'd be wrong if one of their family members came out of nowhere and just blew her brains back,
Yeah.
and then kept on going. Nobody know nothing, and they heard of her being murdered, and boom. See, but they don't think that it can leak over from these gangs and gang members doing it to themselves to them, and that's what's killing me. Like they think it's just gonna go this one way forever.
Right.
I don't think so.
Well, you know, the judge, Regina Chu, who is Asian, all right, she said, you know, Kim Potter never meant to hurt anyone. And she had sympathy for Kim. What about sympathy for Dante Wright, who was killed? Oh, yeah. She said, this is not a cop found guilty of murder who used his knee to kill a man like Chauvin did, you know, to Floyd. That's what she said.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's what the presiding judge said when she sentenced former Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police officer Kim Potter to 2 years.
First of all, that judge should be attacked because the minimum sentence is 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, so she has the authority and judgment.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. That's where the racists come in at. They would have gave the maximum to who, if it was a black cop, even if it was a black cop, you understand, that was in the same situation, they still would have got that minimum 6 to 8. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I'm saying they work together and they show love to each other, and you know that just had me so upset, man.
Yeah. 2 years in prison in the fatal shooting of unarmed motorist Dante Wright.
And this
Tyler, who was convicted of first and second degree manslaughter, will serve 16 months or 2/3 of her sentence before being eligible for supervised release, and she's getting credit for 58 days served. Judge Regina Chu,
and she keep her job.
and she ain't gonna keep her job. Got emotional, and she talking about officers risking their lives every single day in public service. Officer Potter made a mistake that ended tragically. Potter shot right after the 20-year-old was pulled over for an expired registration tag and for having an air freshener hanging from his rear view mirror. So this is a offense punishable by death in Minnesota, getting pulled over. How many incidents of minor infractions had turned out to be punishable by death for Black people?
So many.
Yes. Now, I heard this white guy talking about he was riding with this brother, and they got pulled over by the cops, and the brother got nervous. He said, what you nervous for? He said, it's a cop. He said, yeah, but you never been in any trouble. Okay? Well, let me tell you, this white guy, he told the story of being out in the field, and there were several animals, rabbits and chipmunks and this, that, and the other,
right,
running around, and there was a horse in the field, and he petted the horse and what have you. Well, a hawk flew over. Well, he and the horse had no fear of it. But those other animals scattered and ran. Okay? Because they are prey for the hawk. They have an experience of being attacked. So that's why that Black dude was nervous, because he knows his people have an experience of being murdered by the police for nothing. Now, the other side of the coin.
Just think what kind of mentality you have to possess to know that you're in fear of that within your life and your community.
And it reminds me of the sister that had just separated, had just retired from the military, and she's riding down the road, and she's driving slow because she got a lot of stuff in the car, and she gets pulled over by the cop, and she breaks down in tears. She had actually done nothing wrong. The cop pulled her over because she was moving slower than the rest of the traffic, and he was doing a wellness check to make sure she was okay. It scared her so bad, she almost had a nervous breakdown. See, this is called PTSD, or not, I can't even say P, because P means post. This is called traumatic stress disorder that has been put on our people because of the way our society is. Now, white privilege. Okay, in Sandy Springs, there was this dude named Matthew Lance,
right,
who would later be arrested on charges that he murdered the couple who lived next door.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, the cops come.
Wow.
All right. And Mr. Lance is in the house, and they negotiated. They tried to negotiate with him, encourage him to just come on out. But one of the cops got through the door. Lance stabbed him 6 times. And he didn't get shot. When they finally got him out the house, they didn't shoot him, but they wounded him. They didn't kill him.
Right, they shoot the wound, not the kill.
Right. That's what they shot him and wounded him. Okay. Had there been a Black man,
and there's going to be a book about that later on, so that they can get some money, and it can be the story, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, that just killed me, man.
Yeah.
How it's all really linked to Hollywood.
Oh,
And then they get a story, and they give a Hollywood picture and all of this, and it's a motion picture now, and this corrupt society is just so sick now.
It is. Now, when these police killings were going on, and after the murder of George Floyd, there was a call to defund the police. Okay. Now, what that meant was that did not mean that you take away all the funds from the police to operate. It meant you militarize the police. It meant redirect that money into services and things and training that would actually benefit, right, help the community. Okay? It meant changing the way police operate. It meant really tearing down the system in place and rebuilding it in a way that made the police actually protect and serve, including in the Black community. The Democrats wasn't with that. This is who Black people vote for. Nancy Pelosi said, defund the police is not the policy of the Democratic Party. It's who we vote for. Yeah, that's right. This is who we vote for. She said, make no mistake, community safety is our responsibility. And she said, she quote one of her colleagues from New York, Richie Torres, a brand new member of Congress, way on the left, saying that defund the police is dead. Okay? Richie Torres, I'm pretty sure, is a Black guy. Bootlick you. Same thing with Mayor Eric Adams. Pelosi said Democrats are looking for ways to improve policing by reducing mistreatment of people. Among the priorities that have been frequently mentioned is an end to no-knock warrants, such as the one that led to the fatal shooting of Amir Locke in Minneapolis. All right? What I tell y'all about a month ago, we vote for these Democrats and get them in office and then say, hey, look at here, we got you in there, so we need you to defund the police. We need you to do this, that, and no, we're not going to do that. No, sorry, we're not going to be able to accommodate you on that. You know, however, right now we can't concentrate on that because there's a lot of Asian hate going on, and it's been going on for almost a year. We know you were being oppressed for 400 years, but this is urgent right here. You know, I mean, damn. Let me tell you what Dr. King said. Dr. King said, first, I must confess that over the last few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the conclusion that the Negro's greatest stumbling block in the stride toward freedom is not the White Citizens Council or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate or liberal who is more devoted to order than justice, who prefers the negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you see, but I can't agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically feels he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by the myth of time and who constantly advises the Negro to wait for a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating and damaging than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. Dr. King, WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yo, I see y'all still there. What's good? Hey, yo, is he on it or what? Yo, I missed a couple boots on it and everything. They was late and everything. He called the boy a boot lick. Yo. He be going in. I'm like, ooh. Ooh.
Oh, I got some more. Can you say Negro being dead wench?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can say Negro.
There's a couple up there.
Yeah.
Which one you talking about?
I'm talking about that sorry ass Loretta Lynch, who was the first black woman to be the U.S. Attorney General under Barack Obama. Okay. Yes, indeed. We were so proud to have Attorney General Loretta Lynch.
Okay.
She's the nation's first black woman to hit the Justice Department. Right? Well, you know, former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores is suing the NFL. All right? And rightfully so, he's suing them for not hiring black coaches. Loretta Lynch was hired by the NFL to defend the league in the racial discrimination lawsuit filed by Brian Flores. Loretta, you know, as I recall, having served as the Attorney General, you get the pension. So you're pretty well off. Your sorry ass didn't need a job, you Negro peeing big wench. You want to defend the racist ass NFL. You took that job? Damn, you talk about selling out. That's what you know, and you know who's working there.
And that be their inside get them. They go look for the predominant black person that's in that position to be the go against another black person for them.
That's what they do. That's what they do, and that's what they did. And that's what they did. She works for the law firm. What is it? Weiss, Rifkind, Wharton, and Garrison.
Wow.
She's a partner in that New York-based firm's Washington, D.C. office. Weiss, Rifkin, Wharton, and Garrison. All right? I'm not being racist when I say this, but that's a bunch of Jewish lawyers. Okay? Okay? And in the email statement, the NPR, the MPL, and NFL spokesperson confirmed the league's hiring of Lynch, saying that both she and Brad Clark will lead their defense. All right? Tell you something else about the NFL. Everybody is praising the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know?
What, Dr. Dre's John?
Yes, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, but that's his Dr. Dre's people. That's his organization.
That's his organization.
All the people that was under Dr. Dre, signed to Dr. Dre.
Right. You know, now let me ask you something.
Right.
Does Dr. Dre need to do anything to become more famous?
Did you know he paid?
Exactly.
He paid to be on
$7 million.
$7 million. Yeah. He paid for that. They didn't give him nothing. No. Wow.
He paid for that. So Dr. Dre, you need more fame? What is that about, brother?
I mean, it's the exposure of your music, the new ears and this new generation, that's like starting all over again. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of a advertisement and business move, being a businessman, you know what I'm saying? More so than just him paying $7 million. That $7 million probably make him another, you know, 150 million or 400 million.
He's damn near a billionaire. How much more money do we need?
I mean,
and he's a legend.
Just because you make money, right? Or you to a point in your life that you financially well off, that don't mean you stop being creative and stop making money investments to still be growing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I understand
so
that.
It's not about being a billionaire and you stop looking to make money. That's out. Because every time you get up, you spending money in some type of sense, living your life. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't hold them back for being a business investment seeker. You know what I mean? We all need to do that as black people, but we need to share it more. We need to build our community.
My point exactly.
We need to
you pay $7 million to the NFL to be in the halftime Super Bowl show. When's the last time your ass came and did a benefit concert that raise money that sends some black kids to college, you son of a bitch. The hell with you. Paying $7 million to that racist ass organization.
But we don't know what he do and what he did. You know what I'm saying? So
I tell you what, I ain't seen no benefit concert with him, Snoop, Mary J. Blige. And Mary J. Blige, I like you as an actress and all, but don't you make no more goddamn chicken commercials.
She made a chicken commercial.
Yeah,
I ain't know nothing about it. I didn't see it.
Oh, with some Aunt Jemima crack if you ever want to see it. Aunt Jemima would have slapped her. Aunt Jemima would have slapped her.
Now you got me. I gotta go look at this commercial.
Yeah, go find it. It's online. Y'all can find that.
On YouTube, will take you right to it.
Oh, it'll take you right to it.
Commercial, YouTube, yeah.
That's what.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't see that.
Man, she did that next.
That must have ruffled your feathers too, boy.
Ah, yeah, it did. I didn't like that crap. It made me rather angry. You doggone it. You know, and
I hate
I
when people do that. They'll fall into the massive deception that they don't. You know what I mean?
man, you know. And it brings me down to the ignorance that our people get caught up in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ignorance is bliss. It really is. If you think about it, if you didn't know what you know, you wouldn't be in the mess you're in. You know, you can pretty much do what you want, because if you're ignorant, it's okay to be too irresponsible to do what you need to do. And don't worry about what people think. No one expects anything else from your ignorant ass.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know? You ever wonder exactly what the statement "a little knowledge is dangerous" means? Do you know? Look, it speaks to the idea of giving a man a halfway decent education, and he'll change the world.
Okay.
But it also refers to not having the full picture and acting irresponsibly after acquiring limited knowledge. Too many of us get caught up in that. I seen this young brother on there on one of these social media sites on there talking about y'all need to stop talking about, you know, what happened with Jim Crow and this, that, and the other, like it wasn't that long ago, because it was a long time ago.
50 years is not long.
I'm 60. So that means this crap was going on in my lifetime.
Right. That wasn't long, buddy.
No. The Civil Rights Bill was 1964, when I was 3 years old, okay? That didn't make people stop being racist. They kept right the hell on being racist.
To this day?
To this day. See, you're ignorant and you didn't study anything, and you listen to some crap from social media people that didn't know a damn thing and didn't do your own research.
And what killed me, right, is we can spill some knowledge at them, and then they still won't believe the knowledge that they're spilling, because they so brainwashed to this, or whitewash, whatever they may want to call it, whatever it is, that they don't want. I don't even want to hear what you're saying. Now that's the crazy. That is the worst. Right?
That is. And you know, it makes me think of one time this lady asked me about my aunt.
Right.
Okay. And so I told her what it was about. You know, it's the Egyptian key of life and this, that, and the other. She said, "Oh, well, I always thought that was devilish." I said, "No, that cross you wear is devilish because it's a symbol of death." "Oh, well, you mean?" So I started breaking some things down to her. All right. When I took her outside her comfort zone, she started singing hymns on the corner. She got up there, got clapped it like she was Sunday morning in church. And I said, "How you down with your simple ass?"
And I was looking at this. It was a special on the Vatican, and the Vatican holds so many black secrets that it's all black. The religions, all of that is of Native and black descendant, and they don't even let you see some of the things that's in there because of that.
That's where they don't and their storage area is something like 4 miles long,
right,
filled with all the stuff that they stole from Africa. Do you know?
That's incredible.
Yeah. You know,
and try to make it so it didn't exist or don't exist or it's a myth and all this other stuff, you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You know, WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
The Open Eye. About 5 more minutes.
Given the circumstances, take what's given. Armed forces, no questions, only killing. How you gonna question me? I ain't the villain. And right across the street, they running a trap building. It's not only drugs, the building with gun filled in. Blind policy enforcers not even looking. Like the wrong one, think they make a good booking. Car right next to him got the real cooking. It's a killing every day. And every bolt on my city, we're a friend to kill you for nothing that's petty. High off the wet or a city called Betty. Wanna play the game, but the brain ain't ready. Got a gun, but the aim ain't steady. Hit the wrong one, someone innocent son. Playing for a phone got buried knuckle down.
WHGE 95.3, Nsoromma in the house.
Yeah.
My city.
That's
Available
right.
all streaming,
All platforms.
all platforms.
For real.
All platforms. You know how you spell life? L-F-E.
L-Iffy.
Yeah. L-F-E. What if we realize what a precious commodity time really is?
Which it is.
And begin to use it wisely?
Which we should.
What if we came to understand the ramifications behind the fact that if African Americans were a nation, we would be the 10th richest nation in the world?
Like Haiti.
Mm-hmm. What if we got reparations? Would we know what to do with the money? What if we stop studying our history as a yearly celebration of our struggle? What if we begin to study our history from a sociological perspective and apply the theories and philosophies that made the ancient Black man the progenitor of civilization? What if? What if we came to understand that the mind is the most powerful weapon we possess?
True.
And what if we begin to fill that most powerful weapon with the ammunition of the knowledge of progressive revolution instead of wallowing in the ignorance of reactionary regression? What if? What if the coming generation could see the old guard leadership for what it is? Complacent and self-serving, more interested in quick fix glories instead of long-term solutions. What if we stop getting caught up in externals and realize baggy jeans and a tattoo will not make you thugged out if you are not a thug?
Now they skinny jeans and tight shirts and women's skirts. They ain't even males no more. That's messy.
Yeah. Because a suit and tie is not going to gain you any mainstream acceptance at the bank if you can't verbalize the alphas and omegas of finance. And a trip to your local African boutique will not make you Black to the cause. I don't give a damn what you got. What if we knew the powerful effect the Black man has on the world, Black people? Because we're only 1/10 of the American population, yet we influence every facet of American culture and life, from sports and entertainment to technology and business, fashion, music, style, attitude, language, and politics. Every facet, that's power. What if? That's how you spell life. L-F-E. You know what? Close with this, man. Come along. Hey, stay tuned to WHGE for 95.3 FM for Tyrus Thomas, who will be followed by.
True that.
Yeah.
Thomas is in the building. He always speak the truth.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Look, we got to stop pussyfooting around. We have to be proactive to the extreme.
Now.
Black people are a targeted group living in danger and oppression. This has been so from the founding of America. Neither emancipation, the civil rights movement, Black power, nor the election of a Black man has changed this.
And that's
We have and must always move intelligently. And we cannot afford to live in fear. We must always be conscious of the forces arrayed against us and stand up to the forces determined to devalue our lives. We cannot be ruled by reaction reactionary regression. But we must be proactive in the extreme revolutionary, because our condition is extreme. We should never allow one instance of injustice to go unanswered, because that unanswered instance will be followed by an escalation. We teach people how to treat us.
That's right.
Learn that. And as we always say, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option. WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Nsoromma in the building.
Patrice Gibbs. Open up.
Let's get it.
Yo, what's good? Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all know what it is. It's time for us to bounce. But y'all can tune in next Saturday, 11 to 12. Easy to do. Just hit the live and you got us live. You dig? The Open Eye radio station, WHGE 95.3 of Nsoromma. That's my boy.
Patrice Gibbs.
The house. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Nsoromma streaming everywhere.
All right. Thanks for joining us. That's right. Yes, Steve. Thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something, because I know I did before I got here, and I hope I taught you something. As well, Nsoromma, our intellectual surgeon, looking out for us, keeping us straight. WHGE 95.3 FM. Open Eye.